Good evening, fifth graders. Tonight's one of my most favorite lessons of the year. The reason why is there's a lot of steps involved and there's a lot of multiplication. I really like multiplication. I enjoy adding. So let's take a look at some of these things that we're doing. Today we're working with area. So how do we know, what do we know about area? Well, when we are multiplying with area, we're always labeling with the squared button or the symbol, not the cubed symbol, not the 3. When we're dealing with surface area, always label with squared. Say a little refresher. Prisms, the characteristics of prisms. There's a bottom base and a top. They are identical to each other, okay? Also, they are connected with rectangles. Bottom and top are the same, connected with rectangles. Our pyramids have one base, they have an apex, and they have triangles that meet at the apex. Okay? Keep that in mind, because today we get to count all the faces of our shape and then find the area of each shape in that particular three-dimensional shape. Let's take a look at some examples. Review. What is the area of this rectangle? Well, base times height, we have 7 times 4 gives me 28. Done. 10 times 6 gives me 60. Done. 7 times 6 gives me 42 centimeters squared. Let's take a look here. You're going to be dealing with measurements that aren't important when solving for surface area. We have some 5s, we have a 6 and a 4. I have to find the area of this triangle. That's base times height. 4 is my base, 6 is my height. These 5s aren't important. Keep that in mind. Base times height, we have 4 times 6 gives me 24. But it is a triangle. And it is a triangle. It is a triangle. We have to multiply that by half or divide it by 2. They both mean the same thing. Half of 24 is 12. 12 centimeters squared. Let's keep going. Let's take a look here. Base times height. This 8's not important because here's my base. Here's my height. I've got a 20. Divide that by 2 gives me 10. 10 is my area. Let's take a look here. What's my base? 8 is my base. My height is 4. I don't need these other numbers here. Not important when finding the area of a triangle. I have 8 times 4. That's going to give me a nice number of 32. And divide this by 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times. Boom, 16 is my answer. Now we might have to find the surface area of a cylinder. So we're going to have to find the area of the base. Quick refresher here. 5 times 5 is 25 times 3.14. Multiply this up. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. 5 times 3 is 15. Place value holder. Cross off this 5. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to add these up. 0, 15. I believe this was a 2. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 7. Move those decimals. That's the area of my base. I'm also going to have to find circumference because that shape that wraps around a cylinder is a rectangle. In order to find the base of that rectangle, you are going to have to find the circumference. So let's take a look here. If 6 is my radius, or if 3 is my radius, I apologize, 6 would be my diameter, which is my D. 3.14 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Shouldn't draw 2 then. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 decimals, 18 and 84 hundredths. That's how you find circumference. As you have a close look here, it's perimeter, so I have nothing labeled. Okay? Which is correct. Let's take a look here. I have to find the surface area of the shape. So this is how it's done. I have a cube here. How many faces do I have on this cube? Well, I have a bottom face, right? 1. I have the top face, which means I have 2 faces. I have this side face, which would be 3. I have this side face, which is 4. I have this front face, which is 5, and then I have the back face, which is 6. Now, here's the next step. The bottom face right here, the dimensions are 7 times 7. That's what that square would be. So the top would be 7 times 7. The sides here, everything 7, 7, 7, are 7 times 7. So it's 7 times 7, because this side right here is 7 times 7. Right here, because it's a cube, is 7 times 7. And it's 7 times 7. Yes, I'm going to require you to write this out for every single problem when doing surface area. The reason why is if I just miss one of these faces, I won't have the correct surface area. 7 times 7 is 49. 49. 49. A cube's pretty easy, as you're probably noticing. Okay, 6 sides, or 6 faces, I apologize. Each face is 49. So instead of adding up all the 49s, I could simply just go 49 times 6, right? Which gives me a 54. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 5 is 29. My answer of this surface area problem is 294 centimeters squared. That's the answer to that cube. Let's do another one. Cube's the easiest. I have a cylinder. Well, how many faces are on this cylinder? I have a top face, I have a bottom face. And then I've got this face that wraps all the way around, which looks like a rectangle. Think about it, a soup can or a Pringles can, if you were to tear that off, I don't know if you could do that on Pringles, but you know what I'm talking about, would be the third face, which is a rectangle. Now, what are the equations I'm going to have to use for this? Well, let's take a look. The area of the base is drawn right here, which is 3.14 times radius squared, which would be 3 squared. That means the top would also be 3.14 times radius squared. Now, this is where it gets tricky. What is the height of this shape? The height is 6. So that means this rectangle that's wrapped around would have a height of 6. How do I find this? That's this distance that's wrapped around. So I would have to find that circumference, because when I unwrap it, would be a straight line, right? So circumference is pi times d. So here I'm going to have to go 3.14 times my diameter, which would be 6. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to have to multiply, because that's what would be this distance right here, right, kids? I'm going to have to multiply that by 6, because 6 is my height. So you're going to notice on a cylinder, to find the surface area, it's quite a bit of work. So let's get going here. 3.14 times 9. The nice thing is I only have to do this one time. 4 times 9 is 36. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. Move these decimals, move these decimals. So this equals 28.26. This will equal 28.26. So they're the exact same. This face and this face are the same. Now down here, I'm going to have to go 3.14 times 6, right? Because I'm trying to find this distance that wraps all the way around. 4 times 6 is 24. 6 is 8. 18. Move these 2 spots. So once I have 18, then I have to multiply it by the height of my rectangle. It's an intense problem, isn't it, kids? Just keep following. 4 times 6 is 24. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 2 is 50. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 5 is 53. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. 2 decimal spots. 113.04 is not my full answer. It's just what the surface area is of my rectangle. It's pretty messy. I'm going to write that again. So I'm going to have to add this number, and this number together. It's quite a bit of math involved. Yes, I know. First of all, I'm going to add 28.26 plus 28.26. Let's add the first two together. 6 plus 6 is 12. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5. I'm going to add that to 113.04. Since I added these two together, I'm going to add it to this one now. Line up the decimals. 6, 5, 9, 6, 1. 169.56 centimeters squared is my surface area of that cylinder. One more problem. I know I'm over the time limit, but you need to see this problem here. A lot of you are going to get nervous right away, but don't, okay? Pentagonal pyramid. I have a front face and I have a back face. Just two faces. And the nice thing is they already tell me what the area is. So I'm just going to write a 20 here and a 20 here because those are done. If it's a pentagonal prism, that means I have 5 rectangles. So I'm going to have to add 5 more to this. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the dimensions of each of those rectangles? Take a look here. It's 5 and 10. So if I redraw it, it would be a 5 and a 10. So this is 5 times 10. This is 5 times 10. 5 times 10. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. All I have to do is add up these 7 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 50 is 250. Right, kids? I'm going to add that to 20 plus 20, which is 40. Add this up. I have 290 centimeters squared is my surface area to that. I will let you know, I'll give you a nice hint. Go back and watch the surface area of a cylinder again. All it is, kids, is breaking down the area and the circumference and then adding them all up, okay? Hopefully this video helped. It's a little intense, yes, I know. I look forward to working with you and answering as many questions as you'll have in class tomorrow. But my advice is to watch these over again because it might be kind of complex, but all of you know how to count the faces on these 3-dimensional shapes. So that means you will know how to do the simple multiplication and the adding. You are going to have plenty of scratch paper, and please make sure your handwriting is neat so you don't make any mistakes. I'm hoping I didn't make any mistakes in my video, but I am human, so it is possible. Good luck, and I look forward to working with you in class tomorrow.